It is time for gentle yoga. I'm Lindsay, and this is Leah, my friend Leah, who I've been doing yoga with for like a year now or something like that. Crazy. Okay, today's flow is for anyone who finds themselves sitting way too much. Leah's in high school, she's online. I know a lot of my work has been at the desk lately at home, and if you are driving for Thanksgiving, you're probably in the car as well. So I would like you to have something that could act as a strap. Today, I don't want to get out the straps because I don't want to clean them. So I'm just using some towels, something that we can just open up our shoulders with. Okay. So we'll go ahead and have that. And Leah, you can have yours out like that too. And then we'll begin. I need this today. I'm super excited about it. Okay. Let's start in Ragdoll Pose at the top of our mat. Knees are super, super spongy. Cascade forward and just take any variation that feels good. And let's take in a mindful breath to clear the space. Just exhale everything out. Stepping into the power of your own breath. And it's helpful for me this week just to think about any preoccupations or duties that I have and mentally just imagine them sitting off to the side in the corner of the yoga space. So they're not here, they can't preoccupy my time now. I'm guarding this precious moment, fully coming into it and guarding it. And I will urge you that if you have not fiercely protected this moment, either by turning off your cell phone or your calorie counter or telling your kids to not bug you for the next however many minutes, do so. Pause the video. Make sure you're fiercely protecting your self care. And before we get moving and gently open ourselves, let's just ask what our deepest intention is for practicing yoga right now. Mine is to let go, to release rigidity, control. What is yours? Breathe in. Breathe all the way out. Release your hands to the ground. Keep your feet split pretty far apart. Turn your toes out. And then as you breathe in, nice little squat here. And Leah's pretty flexible, so she'll probably like the squat and find some movement here. If this is bothersome on any of the joints, you'll come to a nice wide horse, just like there's a horse right underneath there, and find some movement there. Hands can be to the floor or heart center, or rock side to side. And just to feel how it feels to maybe be sitting in a different way. I don't know many people who actually sit in this position just naturally. Do you? No. Well, I do sometimes, but I'm weird. Awesome. Let's flow that just a couple of times, breath to movement. We'll inhale in our squat. And exhale, hands stay on floor, straighten your legs and dumbbell forward. And two more times at your own pace. Inhales, drop your tailbone, chest comes up. And exhales, pour us forward, straighten, release your head, neck, and shoulders. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Stay to breathe for a few moments. Take your toes in line with your heels, but keep your feet pretty far apart. Grab whatever strappy device you have in front of you. And we'll roll up very slowly. And take our hands far apart, so wider than shoulders. And we'll just do a few little cats and cows here in a standing position. On our inhale, just to widen the chest, you could pull back as far as you want with this. And as you exhale, stay standing, but round through your spine. And you can even push that towel down and away as far as it wants to go. Couple more times at your own pace. Inhales, open the chest. Oh, I feel that. And exhales, push forward and away. So there's a little bit of strength to this. You really want to resist that towel. Let's do 2 more times each way. You'll notice if you ever look at the video that Leah and I have very different breath paces. Mine is slow, but hers is much slower. And you're really empowered to just move at your own metronome. It can be very soothing to do things in your own time instead of someone else's. When you've done your last round, we'll just come all the way up and then just bend over to the right. So the weight in your right hand will take you down and over. Inhale through center and exhale over to the left. Flow this at your own pace now, going only as deep as you want. And noticing how you're still very stable and firm through your feet. You can continue in this pattern, or for the last two, if you would like to rainbow around the world, that can feel really nice. 360-degree interplay. And my hands feel like they need to be a little closer together, so you can always readjust your strap as well. And this is a lot of work, so I don't know about you, but you might be feeling something through your upper body. Other direction. Awesome. Come through center. Notice how you feel. And let's just take a nice, simple forward fold. Release your strap. Breathe in, halfway lift. Let's just pause for a moment. Get really, really long. Nice. Breathe in and breath out. Plank pose. I'm going to use my knees because it's gentle yoga day and because I use my knees even when it's not gentle yoga day. uh, the best thing you can have here is a good attitude, right? So even if I am on my knees, I can make this a little harder just with an isometric drag of my wrist creases back toward my knees and my knees up toward my wrist creases. Find just a little bit of a shake there. Awesome. Let's take an inhale. And as we exhale, just to lower all the way to our navel, interlace your hands behind your back or take airplane wings. And breathe in locust pose. Continue your breath. So what I'm looking for here in a gentle yoga practice is to meet myself at about 75% of the total sensation. Something that feels as though I've gotten into somewhere, but that I'm not punishing it. I'm just taking care of it in a nurturing regard. Breathe in. Breath out, melt all the way down. Breathe in, table pose. Come all the way up. And on our exhale, let's find child's pose for a couple of breaths. And possibly noticing that every new shape you come in contact with is like you're having a conversation with that particular shape. How does it feel? How is the alchemy between your energy, what you've been doing this week, and this specific shape? We'll be here for 2 more breaths. So if you'd like, you can come to the tips of your fingers like little spiders and actively push back through your spine to get a nice, big old active stretch. Let's breathe out. Breathe in, come forward onto your palms, tuck your toes, and exhale, downward facing dog. We'll be here for a few moments just to expand. If you ever want to come back into table or child's pose, the most important thing in your practice is your mental focus, your breath, and your intention. It is not the shapes. I'm going to give you just a couple of allowances here. If you'd like, you can come to the top of your foot just to stretch the other side of your ankle and your shin one at a time. All of the shapes we're making again today are just me thinking about what I would like to do when I sit for so long at the desk. I know my kids need it. I know my parents need it. Leah needs it. So just to find those spaces. And now let's just flow very gently through a Sun A. As you inhale, pick up your heels, look forward, and as you exhale, step to the top of your mat. On your breath in, halfway lift, super long. Exhale, fold in and let go. Breathe in, mountain. No fancy stretches this time. I think we did enough of those. And exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. And exhale, a high plank. Breathe in, hinge forward. And as we exhale, we'll just lower with control, chest, navel, hips. Interlace your hands behind your back. Breathe in, lift, locust. And exhale, melt. Breathe in, table or hips to heels. We will not do child's pose this time. And exhale, downward facing and dog. Let's change up Sun A little bit. Inhale with me, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, walk forward, drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift, a little circulation now. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, mountain. Nice job, Leah. And exhale, fold. This is where we will change it up. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge. Your left leg steps back. We'll just drop through to our back knee and breathe here. So your hands are either on the floor or to your front leg. It's a little variation of crescent moon here. And I just want to feel that front hip side pocket, the one that's always bent when you sit. Do we feel this? Okay, as Leah does that, I'm going to adjust the camera, which never seems to do what I want it to do and cannot see my whole mat space there. Technology. It didn't even work. That's okay. Sometimes you just got to let it go, right? Okay. From here, take a big breath in. And as we exhale, we'll come into half splits. And perhaps you just keep your torso on your thigh until the very last moment to feel your heart stretch forward. And we'll take a little bit of time here to twist through our ankle. I like that pull back of the sole of my foot. Feels really magical upstream. And from here, if you have blocks, that can set you up for more success underneath your hands, but I'll just invite you to walk your hands to the outside of your right leg. Toes stay up in the air, flexed back, and we breathe into the left side of the rib cage. Breathe in, please. And exhale, runner's lunge. Breathe. We'll take our hands to the inside of our front foot. Snake it up, and this is plenty for most people. But I today feel like I would like to drop my back knee back a little further and perhaps come to my forearms. So find a place where, again, you're 70 to 75%, and you can drop back into that sweet, sweet breath. I love that old saying, what you practice, you become, because it's so true. When we sit for too long, our bodies actually mold to that position because they're like, hey, you like that position? Sure, we'll support you in that. So we get very rigid to support that that's what we do. So if you don't want to become that chair, which happens to a lot of people as they age, right? They get less and less mobile, you got to counteract it. Same thing with the things that we do on every other level of life. What we practice, we become. If we become rigid in a certain pattern, what are we going to do about it? Breaking out of it, or at least reflecting on it. Okay, Leah and I are going to come up to our hands and then just walk to the left slightly this time. Whew. Knife edge of the foot can come back, feeling the difference there. Great. Let's walk back towards center. Take your leg back into the center of your hands. We'll come into low lunge. Exhale. And breathe in, standing split. Pause to breathe. This is our balance for the day. So hands can remain on the floor, or perhaps you would like to go a little further with something. You are not going to be perfect. She and I are both going to fall at some point. So just make sure that you're safe. Your hands will come down if you need them. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Let's come into Ragdoll for a moment and just notice the difference between your sides. Exhale with me. Inhale, halfway lift. Last time through sun A. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, mountain. Exhale, refold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, lunge, right leg steps back, back knee down. And breathe in, crescent moon with hands on the ground or on your front thigh. Breathe here. I have a happier side. I think this side is happier. Do you have a happier side? Yes. So again, it might take a different shape to feel that 70-75% sensation. As much as we talk about letting go today, all of these things, you still need a little bit of substance or scaffolding in these postures. So if I were to completely let go in this, that wouldn't be good, right? Like you need a little bit of something, something to hold you up, to hold you together. 2 more breaths here. Hands to floor as you exhale, chest stays near thigh. Then we just straighten into half splits and it'll peel up and away that chest when it feels like it. Heart draws forward toward toes and toes come back to flirt with heart. And just getting really sensitive, listening into all of that feedback that your energy level, your body's giving you, all those little tiny messages. Not judging them, but just working with them. And then perhaps Hopefully you've got blocks or something, or you could have really long arms like I have. We'll walk ourselves now over to the left. Left toes stay up or back, and your heel almost indents into your yoga mat. So you can feel that if I wanted to, this leg would not move anywhere. And this is an awkward position, but believe me, it's got some good merits to it. So go ahead and pull your right hip back away from you. I almost feel like I'm working my back hamstring a lot. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's come down to runner's lunge. The number one thing I see that's unsafe is that someone's ankle's tucked way back here. I'd like you to at least make sure it's underneath your knee or forward of your knee. And what we're looking for here is not, you know, to stretch ourselves to no return. We don't want to be like Gumby. We want to be something that comes back and is strong too, right? So it doesn't really matter how far we can go as long as it's functional in our daily life. And really, this nice gentle yoga is just meant to keep everything lubricated and working the way that you need it to work so that you can think about other things besides your ailments or disease to keep this vessel nice, pure, an instrument for you to grow in. Let's walk it over to the side. This time it's the right side. And I like to come onto the knife edge of my left foot, flare my left toes back. This is a huge posture, so please know that you are welcome to end in any degree that feels appropriate. Perhaps dropping your head just to feel that little bit of surrender quality in the practice here. Let's crawl back towards center. Whew. Low lunge now. Front leg right in between hands. Breathe out. Breathe in, standing split. Pause and breathe. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to be as successful on that side, and that's on this side, and that's okay. Still flirt with what might happen. Very nice. If you fall out, give yourself a little pat on the back that you actually tested your balance, because what you practice, you become. And we all need to practice balance. Breathe in. Breath out, forward fold. Big toes come in line with each other. Breathe in halfway, lift. Exhale, plank. Listen for the change. Inhale, table. And as you exhale, go ahead and sit back onto your heels, or come, if that doesn't feel good, you can come up just like this. So one thing that gets really tight, which we've already started to dance into here, are hip flexors when we sit. Camel is not my favorite posture in the entire world, so you don't have to come into full camel, especially because this is gentle yoga. But I would like to open that area in the front side of the body. I will give you a series of instructions and you just stop when it feels appropriate for you. And appropriate means you can hold it for 5 to 7 breaths without a panic. Okay, awesome. Let's come up to a kneel and tuck our toes today because our toes, our plantar fascia doesn't get a lot of love. So to tuck the toes And to just stand up really straight. Make sure legs are on. Legs are on. Hands to low back. Find that bony ridge back there. We got that bony ridge. Awesome. Now roll your shoulders up and back, elbows back toward each other. And press your pelvis forward slightly. Awesome. Now you'll just continue to wind back very, very slowly. And you know what? This feels pretty good right here for my intents and purposes. If you would like, you're more than welcome to rainbow back and around for other things, to drop your head, to go in a big full expression. But you know what? This feels pretty darn good. So last little bit is that you can tuck your chin like I'm doing, or you can throw your head back gently and breathe. A lot of people get panicky during camel because they've opened up too much. You don't want to go that far. If you've gone that far, come up a little bit. Perfect. If you haven't tucked your chin already, on your next exhale, tuck your chin. Breathe in, slowly hinge up. And as we exhale, we'll come into rabbit. Have we done rabbit before? Oh, awesome. Okay, the very crown of your head will come down onto the floor by your knees so that you can look in between your knees. Grab your heels with both hands, and then as you hold onto your heels, you just lift your buttocks up a little or a lot to get a big stretch to the opposite side of the spine. Breathe in between the shoulder blades. They should move independently of your rib cage. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come all the way down. Great. We will come into half straddle pose and get into our hips in a couple of different ways. And I'm going to move my mat just slightly so you at home can actually see my legs. Right leg forward and straight, left knee out to the side so that it's like a letter L backward. And you might even want to shimmy toward the right side of your mat, Leah, so that you can get your knee out to the left a little bit more toward me. Back, back, back. Yeah. Good, good. Do you feel that? A little bit different. If this hurts in any sort of way, get a pile of blocks to sit up on some blocks, perhaps lessen this degree, or come into Janu Sirsasana instead. So pain-free or painful? Pain-free, cool. From here, we'll sit up tall and just start to buoy our weight from right to left. And as you go to the left, you might feel a little something, something here. Or you might feel more if you come back here. So I'd like you to pick your option now that you've tried on all the different options. Which one are you going to take home? And then just stay for a couple of breaths. If it helps to imagine your legs just melting into that release with every exhale, and do that. Kind of like my cake this week. My daughter made me a birthday cake and we decided to make it a day early. That was a custard sponge cake. So by the time we got it out, it was a little hard. 20 seconds in the microwave, better than it would be originally. So just to notice how that heat can soften. And let's bend into our front knee now for 90-90. 90-degree angle in our front leg, 90-degree angle in the back. And then I'll just give you one option, and that's to fold forward and perhaps compress your front leg with your torso. The interesting thing about the home practice is that not only are you only accountable to yourself, so it can be easy to cheat, but there's also all these ambient distractions, Right now, I know I can hear people in the lobby. When I'm trying to do my own home practice by myself, I hear the lawnmowers, people ask me questions. It's really up to us to let go of every distraction, to fiercely guard every moment, to not cheat ourselves. I even like to look at them as little gifts, right? They're challenging what I need practice in most. So this letting go practice is not just something we think about when we set our intention. Something you really just have to choose over and over again. Do I cling on to that or do I pass it by? Let's crawl back up to our palms. And from here, we're going to get a little fancy. You ready, Leah? You're going to think I'm super cool after this. Probably not. Okay, take your hands behind you. We'll just windshield wiper our legs through center. And then look, we're in 90-90 on the other side of our mats. Trying to score some points with the high schooler. Make her think I'm cool. Okay, so we will actually take 90-90 on this side first and then half straddle. Free to walk yourself forward and really baby yourself with any props that you need to on this side. I'd like to remind you that these postures are not statue-like postures. You're not rigid in them and unallowed to move. If you feel as though the sensation changes so much that maybe you need to lean in or lean out, you're more than welcome to continue that conversation with the shape. The reason that we as yoga teachers ask you to stay in certain shapes is just so that you don't fidget mindlessly. You're more than welcome to take some mindful movement, maybe even sinking forward a little bit more if it feels appropriate. And letting all of your bones simply get a little heavier for these last 3 breaths. Making our way now into half straddle. Left leg goes long. Man, this side is so different. And you might even need to prop yourself up, move yourself. And once you feel like you've got those nice angles, because that's where most of the setup is those nice right angles here in our femur bones, in our knee, in our ankle, you'll simply negotiate your weight side to side, forward and back, and decide what to purchase on this side. What do you need? As you settle in, just know that this free hand gives a really nice massage if you have that outer thigh sensation. I have a lot of clients who like to dig in there with their thumbs, find some interesting things in there. But just to envision again those legs getting heavier, melting, softening, settling. When we try to force something to let go or release, it usually starts clinging on even harder. So there's no force really needed in our yoga practice, just a gentle invitation. Okay, let's shift forward over and around onto our backs with our towel strap, whatever you got at home. And we'll do one last little thing before Shavasana here. Mm. As you come down, just take the soles of your feet to the earth and then bring your right knee into your chest so that you could loop your little towel around your foot. And we'll just play here with the inside of our leg. Left leg can stay where it is, or you can extend your left leg down your mat. And I'll keep my right heel out to the side here. Tuck my left hip down with my left hand and just breathe here for a moment. If it feels as though the shape is unstable, crawl a little further up your strap. And we're not here for very long, so perhaps to push a little bit of energy out of your toes as though they could get further apart, left and right set. Perfect. Let's bend back into your knee. Take the strap off and just come into supine twist. Guide your right knee across your body and settle. Making sure we are letting go of every complete breath cycle. Maybe watching it in awe, not trying to control it as much as we just witness it. When your breath says it's time for another inhale, just guide your right knee back through center. And as we exhale, we'll meet with both soles of feet onto the floor. Left knee into chest. Let's lasso that foot. Choke up as much as you need to on your strap or towel. And then flirt with the inside of your left leg stretch. Takes a little bit of upper body strength, I think, to hold on here. You can always bend into your left knee a little if this is too much. Settling the back of your heart into your mat space. Pointing your toes left and right away from one another for just 2 more breaths. And slowly bring your knee into your chest and just take your strap up behind you. Set it down. Guide your left knee over and across your body and continue to breathe. So for Shavasana today, I will guide you through a brief meditation. If you're not into that, you are welcome to turn down the volume to Shavasana while you pause or stop the video. But every now and then, I think a nice guided Shavasana can be the perfect ending to a well-rounded practice. When it feels right, You'll simply make a shape that you feel safe and supported in. Constructive rest with your knees together, Shavasana, hands on heart and belly. You know your choices. And from here, just take in a nice cleansing breath. And as you exhale, settle in for the meditation. I invite you to focus in on those things that you set outside of your mat to clear room for your practice. Unjudgmentally, not ensnaring or entangling with them, not getting involved, but merely just seeing them as they are off to the side. Any preoccupations, any duties, anything that really dulls your shine or you feel like holds you back. So if you'd like to, if there are things that you have not added to the pile that belong over there away from you, let's look at them and name them one at a time. Unjudgmentally, with a brave and friendly attitude. Look at them now. What dulls your shine? What holds you back? And simply, carefully taking whatever those things are, giving them a visual, and placing them over in that pile. Continue with this. There's probably a few more things, either large or small. And know that if you put them over there and you're not quite ready to let them go, I'm not going to force you to do that. Just notice that you can take them off for a moment. Once they're all in that nice pile, I'd like you just to bring your awareness back to the pureness that is on your mat. Uncluttered, joyful, free. Take an easy breath in and exhale to fully relax into this lightness and enjoy being free for just a few moments before we get on with our day. I came by a passage in an old book this week that reminded me that we cannot force a flower to open its petals and bloom. We must wait for it to open in its own time. And though I know it was saying that, we must be patient and wait and release control that way, it also means that we can't always force ourselves to let go of something right away. Sometimes we just need to notice, hey, there are some things that perhaps I will eventually need to let go of. And to be patient with yourself, to do those in your own time. to trust the process and to know that it's just the beginning. But if there's anything here that you do not want to pick back up from your junk pile and you are ready to leave it, you're more than welcome to. Let's breathe in and just take our arms all the way up overhead. Let your palms come together. And as you exhale, take any goodies from your personal practice into your heart space so that you might walk out of here feeling more whole and joyful and peaceful. Thank you so much for practicing here with us today. Namaste. Thank you, Leah. And thank you, Power Life community. This is always such a pleasure to see what you guys are doing and saying on here and on social media. So keep coming. I hope I see you guys next week. Take care.